Hello, I'm Pastor Brian of Racing for Help Ministries, and we're on week 3 of our Love Dare. And this is your first time joining us. We're glad you have joined us. If you're an original comer, we're glad to see you here as well. And this week it talks about how love is not selfish. And from Romans chapter 12, verse 10, it says, "Be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Give preference to one another in honor." Again, that comes to us from Romans chapter 12, verse 10. We live in a world that is enamored with self. The culture around us teaches us to focus on appearance, feelings, and personal desires as the top priority. The goal, it seems, is to chase the highest level of happiness possible. The danger from this kind of thinking, however, becomes painfully apparent once inside a marriage relationship. If there were ever a word that basically means the opposite of love, it is selfishness. Unfortunately, it is something that is ingrained into every person from birth. You can see it in the way young children act, often in the way adults mistreat one another. Almost every sinful action ever committed can be traced back to a selfish motive. It is a trait we hate in other people but justify in ourselves. Yet you cannot point out the many ways your spouse is selfish without admitting you can be selfish too. That would be hypocritical. Why do we have such low standards for ourselves but high expectations for our mate? The answer is a painful pill to swallow. We are selfish. When a husband puts his interests, desires, and priorities in front of his wife, that is a sign of selfishness. When a wife constantly complains about the time and energy she spends meeting the needs of her husband, that is a sign of selfishness. But love does not seek its own. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5 tells us that loving couples, the ones who are enjoying the full purpose of marriage, are bent on taking good care of the other flawed human they get to share life with. That's because true love looks for ways to say yes. One ironic aspect of selfishness is that even generous actions can be selfish if the motive is to gain bragging rights or receiving an award. If you do even a good thing to deceitfully manipulate your husband or wife, you are still being selfish. The bottom line is that you either make decisions out of love for others or love for yourself. Love is never satisfied except in the welfare of others. You can be acting out of real love and selfishness at the same time. Choosing to love your mate will cause you to say no to what you want to say, to what you want, so you can say yes to what they need. That's putting the happiness of your partner above your own. It doesn't mean you can never experience happiness, but you don't negate the happiness of your spouse so you can enjoy it yourself. Love also leads to inner joy. When you prioritize the well-being of your mate, there is a resulting fulfillment that cannot be duplicated by selfish act. This is a benefit that God created and reserves for those who genuinely demonstrate love. The truth is, when you relinquish your rights for the sake of your mate, you get a chance to lose yourself for the greater purpose of marriage. Nobody knows you as well as your spouse, and that means no one will be quicker to recognize a change when you deliberately start sacrificing your wants and wishes to make sure his or her needs are met. If you find it hard to sacrifice your own desire to benefit your spouse, then you might have a deeper problem with selfishness than you want to admit. Ask yourself these questions. Do I truly want what's best for my husband or wife? Do I want them to feel loved by me? Do they believe I have their best interests in mind? Do they see me as looking out for myself first? If you can answer those 4 questions, honestly, you will know your answer. Whether you like it or not, you have a reputation in the eyes of those around you, especially in the eyes of your spouse. But is it a loving reputation? Remember, your marriage partner also has the challenge of loving a selfish person. So determine to be the first to demonstrate real love to them with your eyes wide open. And when all is said and done, you'll both be more fulfilled. Do nothing for selfishness or empty conceit, but with humility of mind regard one another as more important than yourselves. Philippians chapter 2 verses 3. And here's today's dare, this week's dare. Whatever you put your time, energy, and money into will become more important to you. It's hard to care for something you are not investing in. Along with restraining from negative comments, buy your spouse something that says, "I was thinking of you today." Now I want you to write this down on a piece of paper. When you answer it, put it up for only you to know where it's at. What did you choose to give your spouse? What happened when you gave it? Well, we surely do hope that you enjoyed this week's Love Dare. We hope to have you back next week, and remember that there's no dare worth taking except the Love Dare, and we strongly encourage you to continue to do the Love Dare with us each and every week. Put it together, put it to use in your life, whether you're married or engaged or just dating. Put it to use, see how well it works, see what it does for you and your significant other. We hope to have you back here with us next week and every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at Racing for Help Ministries. Don't forget to join us at our site at www.racingforhelp.org. It's exactly as it sounds, www.racingforhelp.org. I'm Pastor Brian Ball, and I hope that you enjoy your time with us, and we truly hope to see you again next time. Until then, may God bless you, and I hope you join us again. Tell your friends about us. We'd love to have you.